ancestors, by collective bloodline. We are all here and singularly here by our melanated power, our DNA. You know, none of us would be here without our. Hi and welcome.
Hey,
Okay, so we are here at Tattoo Rants, Raves and Rituals. We are with a community elder. Yeah,
am I considered?
yeah, you
Hell,
are.
I'm
You are.
still young. What you talking
Yeah.
about?
We ain't say old elder. You knowledgeable. You wise.
Thank you.
I was about to say, tell me it ain't so.
I, I'm just gonna say something.
So we're talking about a hot topic in the community right now, which is about apprenticeships, and I think it's a great deal to talk about it from a traditional aspect, especially when we start talking about what it looks like to return tattoo back to its traditional roots and customs. Apprenticeships are a big part of tattoo culture in general, because tattoo is oral and it's handed down. It's literally ritualistic in how it's given from one elder to the student, from the master to the student. But we seem to have lost our way. We seem to have lost our way in what apprenticeships are, in this new era, this digital age, this microwave society, and what that looks like to actually dedicate yourself to your craft and what it is that you're learning. So, today we are talking, the series actually, we are talking a lot about apprenticeships, from an African and a diasporic perspective. Mario Bate Rekiaye, Iba Tiorun, Iba Rumla, Ojokotun, Iba Rumla, Ojokosin, Iba Okoda, Iba Shada, Iba Finjuaye, Iba Rumila, Elira Ipin, Bikaji, Olodamar, Iba Baba, Iba Yeye, Iba Oluwo, Iba Ojubone, Iba Araron, Iba to my ancestors, Iba to my collective Egbe in heaven. And I give thanks from all of our ancestors from the east, the west, the north, and the south. Without their survival, we would not be. I thank them for passing down their power so we can be. I give thanks. Ashe, Ashe,
Ashe,
Ashe.
Asheo.
Oh.
Don't make me cry.
How they serve us, what can be updated, what we may have lost, and what's important there. So we're just going to go through a few questions, and we're just going to let this conversation flow. Before that, though, I'm going to let my godmama, I'm gonna let Ia introduce herself.
Hey, y'all. I'm Ia Sade, Aloye, Amuri Wa Foya, Awo Sade Oyawumi, Ifa Wemi Dao Shunike, um, oh my God, what's my other one? Eggbeg Boomy and OJ, OJ Yemi. Ajala. Yes, I have a lot of names. I have a lot of initiations. And also Yaya and Doki and Genga. And so I am initiated in the rites of Oya, Oshun, Egbe, Egungun, um, Ifa, and uh, Siete Rayos and Palo. So, with that being said, I have training and experience here in the diaspora in the northern Americas, United States of America, um, Cuba, Caribbean, and of course Nigeria via Oshogbo and Oyo and Lagos. And a lot of my elders came from those lineages. And my mission has always been to bridge the gap between traditions and the new world and the diaspora. It's very important that we always keep the roots very clear on where tradition comes from. I am very straight to the point with that in the origin of many things and never to forget those things and how um, the diaspora has kept it alive, but how the root has definitely influenced those things. and I also am a root worker. I call myself root worker, conjure worker under the umbrella of hoodoo. And those traditions were passed on to me via ancestral, via elders I have worked with different folk herbs and different applications of workings and tricking and all of that. all of the things. So I am your regular juju woman. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm also a huge fan of tattoos. As you see, I have over 30 and over my body, and
If you
I
could still
won't
count them,
stop.
you can't. You don't have enough.
I don't have enough. Okay, I'm already planning my next two. Okay, already got it set up. My next two. It's crazy because I just got two this year. I got two. It seemed like I get one or two every year. It's wild, but I had a couple cover-ups, so I kind of start over. I don't count the tattoo that's under the cover-up. But anyway, so we're gonna talk about, Imani and I are gonna talk about how the correlation in keeping the traditional alive and tattoo can correlate with African traditional practices and the apprenticeship bridging and how important it is to start from the bottom and work your way up. Not start from the way up and work your way down. Is starting from the bottom and working your way up with gratitude and observance and practical and logical and academia and all of that. But this is, tattooing and uh African traditions, and ATR, we're gonna say ATR and ADR, African traditional religions and African diasporic religions. So ATR, ADR, the correlations are so close because hands-on is very important. The practicality of the traditions, each one tattooing, what we practice is at least 80% 80% practical. I say the rest is definitely a academia level, course of studies, oral, big, huge oral tradition. Now, in the new world with African traditional religions, which is slash ADR, of course, you have the books that have written, but traditionally, it is an oral tradition. So to keep those things alive, you have to understudy and apprentice under the eldership of people who know.
I like that word.
No.
Heard about that word, understudy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah, you only
In
hear
the salon, I did that I'm also a 30 plus year vet in the hair industry. And I had to apprentice. I had to get in the game. I had to start at the bottom. That was shampooing. You know what I'm saying? I was cleaning up, sweeping the shop, wiping down this and all that. You observe. And I've noticed in Nigeria, you got people that's it's not they want to learn ATR, but they stay. First of all, you live with your Oluwo, your teacher. Like 95% of them live with the families have brought them there, or they go and ask that Oluwo, can you understudy? Then it's a whole process. Divination is done. You ask the family it's a whole process.
Let me slide in there right quick because I got questions.
Okay. All right.
So, first of all, when it comes to that, your understanding of being what it is to be an apprentice. So let's talk to that. And then also talk to what it is. I say all the time, when you're becoming something, you have to act in that mindset 24/7 to actually become it. And it feels like if you're living with your Oluwo, even though you haven't gotten those rights bestowed upon you yet, you're literally living in that lifestyle 24/7 before you actually cross the bridge or cross the sands. If you pledge, you know what that means. Or any of that. But what does that look like in terms of being an apprentice and living in that? You've done multiple multiple initiations, including, something that we would consider just as basic, and it's not basic at all, in terms of doing hair. So with that, what does that look like to have lived that many times as an understudy and your idea of an apprentice?
Oh, that's a loaded question. No, that was like 5 questions in one. As far as ATR and ADR, the challenge in America is that we live all separate. Everybody live in their own space and things like that. So sometimes, even in different states, so sometimes it's hard for people to commit to that. That means cleaning the shrines. That come and take an inventory of things, come and assist with a client. You're observing, okay, because you're head on learning those rituals. You're seeing the practicality of those rituals being done. Okay, go bring me the water. Go bring me this leaf. If I tell you enough times what this leaf is, you need to put that in your memory. Go outside and go pick this leaf. So go get the dry leaf. It's in this area. You're gonna bring me this, that, and that, and that. You're gonna bring me the F-phone. And what is the purpose? What's the spiritual purpose behind each one? You'll pick up the nuances over and over if you commit. To that aspect of, okay, I'm going to sacrifice my time. Yeah, because one thing I'm tired of hearing is I'm tired. I had to work all day. I got school. I had to cook for the kids. Ma'am, sir. I was a single mother when I was getting into this. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, my kids was with me. I don't know what the hesitance is involving your children. Also, that's another aspect. They should be observant in that. I'm not sure how it is in tattooing, but it's a family nuance, in ATR and ADR. So they also will pick up those nuances, but as far as the apprenticeship, it's so many different levels. Like in Nigeria, you would live with your Oluwo, and if he say go wash the clothes, that's what you're gonna do. Go to the market and go get all the stuff for dinner, whether it's rice or whatever. That means drive to go pick up the clients from the airport that's 4 hours away, and you riding with the driver to welcome in the guests, clean the house up. Those things bring in, you know what those cater in? Discipline.
Character.
Character, integrity, loyalty, commitment, organization, stability. It brings in a just those nuances build character. They surely build character. But I must say, it is far and in between. And I'm not saying it's for everybody in the US. It is hard to find that type of commitment because of the overwhelming stresses of today's society in America. People are in school, people are working other full-time jobs in Nigeria. Doing this is full-time work. It is a job. It is, people think that it's a secondary job, but you can be a Babalawo Yanifa, Babalarisha, Ilarisha full-time, you know. And so it should be respected and revered as such, with the devotion, because it takes years to learn, and you still don't know everything. It's like getting a PhD. Seriously, it's no joke. To become a serious Yanifa Babalawo takes at least 20 years of anywhere between 15 to 20 years of every single day application.
For people who may not know, can you translate what a Ianifa or a Babalawo is, so people can translate it to what that means in terms of like
Those
tattoo?
are elder and well-trained and initiated priests and priestesses to Ifa. But you have Babalarisha and Ilarisha also, who would be equivalent to that in the Orisha if they're initiated to Oshun or Oya or Shango or Batala. But Ianifa and Babalawo is specific to Orumila / Ifa. But all of them require long and extensive training. Every time I go to Nigeria, every time I go to a different festival to work hands-on, to assist, support, I learn a new nuance, a new herb, a new application to the same herbs that I know. And because something can be prepared 10,000 different ways, is always, and then there's different lineage nuances. They do things different in Ogun State, and do that, in Kitsi, they do, things are going to be slightly, they may begin differently in the same across Yoruba land and in America and Cuba. I'm in Cuba, they doing things that's look extremely familiar. It like again, it started differently, but it surely ends the same. And you can see those same nuances, but slightly different. Like, oh, okay, I see how they do it here. And you're picking up those things along the way, whether you take it in because your lineage is different or not. It's the thing about experiencing those things and being well traveled, because you can't say what doesn't exist. You can't say that. So, apprenticeship is all inclusive to that.
So with that, when it comes to that, geez, I had a loaded question again. I'm glad it unloaded
Thank
itself.
God.
With that, so in Western world, right? Yes, we do have things that we're doing real time. What what would you say to, like, you were able to still master doing hair. You're still able to master, you know, many parts of spirituality within yourself. What would you say to it if someone feels like they're called to something like tattoo? Because if you look at that even as a priesthood, if you're called to something like tattoo and they say, I don't have time, I'm working this job, I'm doing X, Y, and Z.
That's not the person you want to have training under you, because you need the person to have a level of commitment. I, as a teacher, as an elder, as you say, can't be um overly zealous, is that the word, for someone else
Yeah.
wanting. You can want all day, but if you're not going to be present, and I know some of my godchildren has heard this word before, if you're not present, and that don't mean physically present. If you're not present mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you can be physically and your mind somewhere else, your spirit somewhere else. Then I can't be that void. I can't fill in that void. And so people have to be 100% committed to being an apprentice. If they're not 100% committed, I couldn't even, you don't bother asking me. I'm going to cut you off right there. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not the space for you.
That's fair.
There are things on YouTube that you can learn, so far. It is certain places that you can pay $9.99 and get the little downloadable, and
Fair.
that's it. I'm not that one.
So what is it if someone came and they're like, I'm called to this, this is my birthright, it's owed to me, X, Y, and Z, and they're still looking for an apprenticeship?
Again, you just asked the same question in
Okay.
a different matter. It's the same answer. It's the same answer. Just because it's your birthright don't mean you are called to priesthood, you are called to train. You can be a novice, right? You can support without having to be committed fully on the other aspects, and there's a lot of people out here that may just go to festivals and,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, come give an offering to the shrine once or twice a year, and that's it, and that's recognizing your birthright also, right? It's acknowledging your birthright. But some people just like, I want to know the Maorisha for
Mhm.
instance, who's my head. It's like, okay, what you gonna do with that information? Then what? What's your next level of commitment?
So like with tattoo, when people just want to learn, then it's, like,
Mhm,
what do you want to do with that information? Like what's your why,
mhm.
if you will?
What are you doing for yourself?
Hmm.
What are you doing for your family? And what are you doing for your community?
I like those
It's the
questions.
360-degree. All of it is so self, family, community.
Back to self.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's not any of that connection, that 360-degree response,
Hmm.
this ain't this about this ain't for you. That like my house, my Elay is not for you. I don't find somebody else. It might be somebody else that's for you, but not me.
What in lineage and liberation, right? What ancestral knowledge is revealed through apprenticeship that you think that may not show otherwise?
Ask that again. Wait a minute.
Within apprenticeships, what ancestral knowledge do you think reveals itself that may not reveal itself otherwise?
What ancestral knowledge reveals itself, but may not reveal itself? I don't know. As far as an ATR, ADR,
Just in general, think about your apprenticeships. Like, has there been anything that if you didn't take that particular journey, you may not have gotten that information?
oh yeah, 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 yeah. The readings alone, even, I mean, just the readings alone is the blueprint because they map out what's next. They reveal bit by bit to you. And it's just like, wow, if I didn't go this way,
Hmm.
it wouldn't have been revealed. Like one of the things is when I got my hand to V5, which it was 21 years ago. I think it was about 21 years ago. And 20 or 22 years ago. And it came out that I was supposed to marry Babalawo. I think it came out, and I was like, hell no, I ain't doing that. Back then, Babalawo's had a whole bad, you know, thing with them, and I wasn't trying to be this supposed to be. I was like, no, that's not for me. I'm not doing that. And then years later, I ended up marrying a Babalawo. They told me why. I'm not going to say here why I needed to marry Babalawo, but everything that was said and related to that, I would have not known. You understand what I'm saying? If I didn't go through that part of receiving my hand to be five, because it was extensive information. And then in recent years, in 2011, before I initiated to E5, I had got a reading and I wanted to make sure that was my path because I didn't want to make E5. I didn't want to do that. That's not something that I wanted to do. I was fine with yeah, right? And so the roots reading was just like all my bloodline lineage. I was discovering stuff. I was like, wow. So, my DNA testing had aligned up with everything that was said in that reading. Then I found out like the Congo aspect from my father's side, uh worship a specific Congo god that was translated into today's in the diaspora as Siete Rayos, which I recently initiated to. And I was like, damn, you see that alignment? Sometimes we look at these readings, especially ATR and ADR readings, as something that's just recent. No, these things map out futuristic things, and so if I did not one, be obedient and answer the call to, okay, let's do these rituals, let's prepare for these rituals, let's do the readings, I'm listening to my elders guide me in that. Then yeah, the other aspects would not have been revealed, and that would not have led me to making Ifa. And then me making Ifa led my children to receiving their hands of Ifa and making Ifa and protecting them and guiding them and helping them. And then the other aspects, you know what I'm saying? Like, because what affects me affects my immediate family, my community. That's why I always say the 360, because the choices that I make affects, it is a ripple effect. It is a butterfly effect. It affects myself, my family, and my community. So
So you would think of it as like a whole recipe. the apprenticeship
yeah.
is like a whole
Oh,
recipe.
yes, yeah. Starting from the bottom, you cannot start any recipe without what? Firstly, what?
Pot.
Washing your hands.
Well, that's true.
That you gotta sanitize.
I mean,
Maybe you gonna get the pot, but I'm gonna wash my hands first.
Wait, what? A pot?
My hands. Or buy the ingredients first, getting the ingredient list. I'm going down that ingredient list. Go in the kitchen, start preparing. You know, you got to prepare. So starting from the bottom. You don't just have this doggone thing already cooked. It's levels.
Yeah, you
Levels.
can't come in and tattoo like, yeah, I know how to draw now. I can tattoo. I've learned that in
Which
henna.
is different on skin.
Yeah, I learned that in henna.
Skin? Like even I'm just saying because you
It's
got some
deeply
people that's
different.
oily, like henna don't last on me because I got oily skin, especially in
Mhm.
my face. I tried henna eyebrows before,
And it was
and
breaking up.
oh, they lasted 2 days. You know, my skin. But the lady said your skin is very oily. It won't
Mhm. Yeah,
last. She did warn me it won't last very long.
skin feels different.
But everybody is different. Skin
Skin
tone,
feels different.
melanin,
Yep.
and dryness. And then somebody, I also have autoimmune disorder, psoriasis, and I have skin like, you know, like you
Learning how
can
to work around
start
all of that.
a tattoo somewhere which can trigger somebody's psoriasis. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like you got to know how to work with people's autoimmune disorders or if they keloid, which is an autoimmune disorder. It's so many things. Um, connected with to me and with tattooing apprenticeship. It's so many things, the sanitation aspect. Like when I went to
Wait, roll your eyes.
when I went to cosmetology, I mean bacteriology was a huge chapter. And you had to learn so
Mhm.
many diseases and disorders and um disorders and how to recognize those things. I thought I was a dermatologist for a minute. You know, you had to reckon. I'm glad that I went through formal and not just because in Maryland you don't have to have a license to be a natural hairstylist, but I know in Ohio you have to have a license, and so um, I'm glad I went through those formal trainings because even sanitizing a comb is vital. You can transfer
Mhm.
fungus, even fungus that somebody can't get rid of. Fun like that's in people don't understand. If you don't understand sanitation and
Mhm.
bacteriology,
Mhm.
you can't move forward and and tattooing. Like
Yeah.
that should be at least 4 to 6 months hardcore knowledge and training. It's the
Staph,
bacteria.
MRSA.
Oh my God.
People don't realize that hepatitis stays on a surface for up to 30 days. So what that looks like to clean that, sanitizing the air.
Yeah.
That's my
Hmm.
favorite one to do because I'd be like, nope, I ain't got
Yeah.
time for it.
It's a lot. You know, it's a lot of and then fungus live. It's a lot of people that fungus live on their skin. You
Mm-hmm.
can,
Yeah,
transfer it. And they don't even know that it's on
that is
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It hasn't shown yet.
It's a lot. And people need to commit to learning that and that takes apprentice because I know for a fact there's no formal school here in the US for tattooing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe in Japan, maybe in India or but even then you still got to be real close uh with the elder and they may say
Yeah.
go wash your clothes, go pick up lunch, go do this because if you can't follow those fucking basic ass instructions, how you gonna handle the instructions of something that can cause somebody a life-threatening disease or disorder or scarring or something, a ugly ass tattoo, you know what I'm saying?
Or psychological.
Or pain.
Like
Yeah.
psychological
Yeah. The
things happen
pain
too.
can be trauma because you don't know how to control your hand and how deep that needle goes and you don't, it already go in the skin. Why is you digging deeper? I had somebody do that to me with this tattoo, this one. It's like, why is you going deeper and the needle going deep?
That's
I never went back to them.
there's actually a rite of passage with tattoo where you tattoo yourself first before you tattoo anybody else so that you can actually understand what your hand does so that you don't go around just traumatizing people. I found it to be a very important part of apprenticeship.
Mm.
So remembering our roots. Servitude as ceremony, while watching and sweeping is learning. And I think this is important because you just mentioned, like, going to do certain things that are really just basic instructions. I think it goes even beyond that, we learn sometimes by osmosis. We learn by
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
observation.
yeah.
We learn, and especially African
Melanated.
people.
I was
Yeah,
just about
like
to say that
that.
melanated people definitely learn that way. Touch, feel, smell.
So with that, I don't think it gets enough play to talk about, those things that seem like they aren't related to any particular thing you're learning, not just tattoo, but whatever apprenticeship you're in, why those things may not seem related.
I was saying, where else can I get a tattoo? No, I'm good. Go ahead.
I was like, what's wrong? So, can you describe some of the tasks that you were expected to perform in any of your apprenticeships?
Yeah, I remember back in the day. Yeah, it was late. I mean, I ain't had Jahan yet. My middle son, I had my oldest, and he was with me. He probably made a little pad on the floor and sleep while we was up all night, and I was helping assist my first godmother in making some shrines for a client, and it was a lot of them. And I mean, just that day started like going to get the birds, finding the birds. And that was a long process. If you don't know, like we was in Ohio, it was everything ain't close together. You got to drive an hour out, and that was a long day acquiring birds, and then um coming back and preparing, washing the vessels out, preparing everything, preparing the amir, preparing the leaf, preparing this, preparing that. That was a lot. Taking a break for lunch, sweeping up, cleaning up, wiping down stuff because mess up a lot of stuff preparing, and then boom, here goes the making of the shrines. We finished that. You got to clean up. You got to clean up, and that didn't end. That started like real early in the morning, and we didn't end to 2, 3 in the morning. So those sacrifices, stuff like that. And for years, flying back and forth to Nigeria, investing,
Mm-hmm.
saving money, and investing, flying back and forth. That's a sacrifice. And going there and sitting watching. I remember, just bringing people for initiation and sitting and watching and sitting and watching. And one initiation, my elder's like, "You're not sitting down no more. You gonna help." I was like, "Oh, it's time. Wow." You never know what they gonna say. All right. So it was time. I was like, wow, just remember for what I watched, saw. And she's like, hand me that. So that I was so happy to finally be called, because I'm not, when you sitting and watch, like, I already know that. Hell no. You're not gonna say that. That's a hell no. You just gonna watch. And you be so observant, and they be like, come go, bring me that, bring me that. You be perched to don't be all on your phone. People just like, no, no, you putting that phone down, putting that laptop down. You are being they want you to watch. Sometimes they may even see, what did you see? What did you see me do? Oh, okay, let me tell you exactly what that is and what that was, what I did. So you have to be present.
How did you work through any frustrations? Because apprenticeships can also get,
Oh, frustrating.
like
Oh, yeah. I could fly all the way over to Nigeria and thinking I set up something to sit with an elder, and they be like, oh, next time. I would be so pissed.
how'd you
It just it wasn't my time. I mean, what you kicking, just a little bit, but I didn't give up. When I went back 6 months later, whatever, we was at it again. Let's try it again. Has happened a lot. Not this time. It's like, but we planned for not this time, and that would be very, very frustrating. That I spent my resources to get over here, and my mind is like very excited to focus and learn this, and it's like, no, not this time. It's like, okay. So what I do, it'd be something that I may need to go back over that I already know, or re-observing again something else, So,
I love that.
and just being real with yourself. Is it time for me to learn that other the next level aspect, because it might be surpass your capacity at that moment.
That part. So I'm gonna take this back to hair for a second. What parallels did you see between when you were doing your hair apprenticeship, and those? Wait, no. What parallels do you see between tattooing apprenticeships and those in either ATR, ADR, or hair traditions? So like going through the apprenticeships of ADR, ATR, or even hair traditions, what bridges do you see between those apprenticeships?
That's what I just said. What I just said, having a lot of patience, listening, being observant, is don't go in there, be a blank everything. If you already know something, act like you don't know. Act like you don't know. And reobserve the thing, and because you're gonna see it differently every
Every
single
time.
goddamn time. You're gonna see it differently. You're gonna see it. You're like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see that the first time or the second time. I saw Sinners 3 times and saw so many different things each time.
She let
Titanic,
us
I didn't see.
she let us
Color
movie off.
Purple, I didn't seen over 20 times. And I didn't seen something different each and every single time. It's like, oh, it's not like, oh, I already seen Color Purple to me. I ain't, I already know what's going on. No, you literally see something different every single time. You hear that song that Suge sings differently. You hear it differently because you had a different aspect in your life. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna hear it's like, oh, God is trying to tell me something. Oh, okay. So
Mm-hmm.
it's totally different when Mr. Wasn't his name. That's what Celia used to call him, Mr. And the kids, when he got when she cursed him, everything you done done him. I mean, every single time. So you that's what you need to learn to do, is, as my elders said, and my mama, take the cotton out your ears and put it in your mouth. That's an African American proverb.
Ooh, I remember that one. My grandmama told me that one before, and I was like, I was little too, and it still stung. Like it was like, oh man. So this conversation is the last one we've had before about ego in apprenticeships and checking your ego at the door. Like,
It's too much. It's too much ego.
let's talk about that, and especially for
I'm dealing
diaspora,
with a couple
because
folks now. I already know that. I already know this. I can only learn in this type of capacity. Okay, if you know everything, you don't need me. You don't need me. Ah,
and when people wash their hands of you,
not
this
the
is
go.
what
Not the go. Okay.
what are some ways that people can actually check their ego? Because there are people who want to learn and ego may get in the way, and we may not realize it, or I be trying to give people grace for like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. But we may not realize it, or we don't have practices to really actually keep our ego in check. What are some things that you may have done or you can advise to help with that? Wow.
Reading, meditation, um, therapy. I don't think you should start any of these things without therapy. And if you feel you don't need therapy, then again, this ain't the place for you.
You
Or
don't need
like therapy is that, so those trauma, any triggering conversations, you know what I'm
because they
saying?
happen.
Won't trigger off these different emotions that you
Mhm.
had connected with these traumas. It's like, this is a different person, it's a different situation. And if your ego does not allow you to see it that way, then that's not the place for that you shouldn't be doing any type of apprenticeship until you address those things. Because even when it comes to customer service, if a client talks to you the wrong way and it can be triggering for you, and you're not patient, you're not accommodating, you're not you know how to talk, you need to learn how to also talk professional. If that means going to a class and learning those nuances, um that's very important to learning those things. I can't express that enough. Therapy and being professional, and also two very important things: spiritual hygiene, making sure you check shit at the door before you come up into anybody's space. Even when you're apprenticing, you may talk to your apprentice or talk to your your Bible, and say, hey, I'm not feeling this today. I'm not in a good mood. I'm a little down today. Having effective and clear communication with who your teacher is, and let them know what energy. They may even be like, you know what, just take off today to go focus on healing and grounding and things like that, depending on who you working with. So learning to check things at the door and talk through those are very important and effective, because when you get your own clientele, you don't want to bring, if you didn't had a horrible day before or had an argument before, you don't want to bring that shit into your space. So you want to have spiritual hygiene.
And you don't want to leave it in their skin.
Yeah, yeah, right. You can transfer. That's why I said spiritual hygiene. You can transfer these energies. And secondly, body hygiene
Your face.
is real important. Having the way you present yourself, you can have your own fashion, but baby, smell good. Okay.
Take pride in yourself.
Take pride in yourself, mind, body, and spirit. Because if you struggling to get some clientele, also, it may be one of those three. It's important because clients in my spaces, the client with the Botanica and with the hair salon, people say the same thing. The energy feels good in here. No matter what, energy is nice. I'm burning incense. I'm continuing to keep the tone together. Even if I don't feel right, or I put certain things on me to help shift my energy so people don't pick it up or pick up on it right away. And uh you have to learn and taking care of yourself physically as well, whether it's exercise, eating right, um, all of that it's just cohesive. It all goes together,
And
all and
yeah.
that all umbrellas under apprenticeship, because your teacher should be teaching you those things as well. And sometimes the teacher need to tighten up on that shit. And they need to evaluate their ego and their practices. And sometimes you have to shift. You can't be rigid as a teacher as well. You have to shift. Like, okay, because I'm telling you, you can't be dogmatic in this. You have to be very flexible, because what happened 10, 15 years ago definitely is not happening right now. And so that's why you can't be rigid and so dogmatic in your practices. You have to shift with the times. You have to shift with the people you are working with. So teachers, be on top of your ego as well. Check that shit at the door as well. Because you don't know, even though you are great at what you did, you don't know every goddamn thing. You don't. You will continue to learn until the day you die. My 80-year-old elder said that. He said that. Arriba el vivant, till you die. You are forever learning. You do not know every single thing. So continue to stay on top of don't ever get to this level and be complacent and say, I don't need to go to no more classes. No, you need continual education always. You need to continue to travel. You need to continue to expose yourself to different sceneries, people, places, and things, so you can stay on top of your craft, whatever that may be.
Elevate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3 books. Do you have 3 book recommendations of things that have shaped your apprenticeships that people could read?
The four
Agreements.
The Four Agreements is really good. And keep reading it.
Yes.
And keep reading it. And keep reading it. And keep reading it over, because you'll see a different aspect. And the fifth agreement. And what's the one Will Smith always recommend? That one is good. Let's start with an A.
I'm looking it up just in case.
Okay. Gotta come back to me. What is girl, I should have had them books already ready. But those are my main ones.
We can also, because I'm putting together, we have
What's the name of
a
that book?
we have an Amazon, starts with an A. It didn't come up.
I'm about to get it.
The Alchemist?
Yes.
The Alchemist. Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, my mind would have went
Yeah,
blank. The
The
Alchemist.
Alchemist. I didn't know he recommended that book all the time. I've read it. I didn't know. Yeah.
I didn't know about
Yeah.
it until he recommended it. Yeah, that one is good to keep revisiting that who you are and building your character and your and that's it. That's all I can think of right now, the top of my head.
Okay.
I did say the fifth element after the fourth element.
Yeah. Yeah.
The four elements.
Yeah.
Four agreements. The
The
fifth agreement is a good one too.
I forgot all about that one.
Mhm.
I'm going to throw in the Celestine Prophecy. That
Okay.
book changed my life.
You
Yeah.
gotta send me that one.
Yeah. You want a copy or you want just the link to the book? I mean, I don't have an extra
send me.
copy, but you could read it.
Yeah, send that to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll read
Yeah,
that.
it's my favorite book. I read it literally like every 2 to 3 years. Like it's a prescription. So yeah, I think the four agreements I'm now at reading once a year, like it's a
Mhm.
prescription.
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah, because you got to go, you'll see something different
yeah,
this time. You're
I
like,
think
yeah,
it
I
also
do need to not judge people. I do need to not take things personal. You need, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because we always taking stuff personal. Yeah, you're right. They may be going through their thing and they come back and they look different, you know. So
yeah,
yeah.
I read them. I think at every like especially when you start to see your self shift, those life-changing books
Yeah,
are worth
yeah,
it to go back to because
yeah.
then you can really check and weigh yourself.
Mhm.
Self accountability. So yeah, we'll be back for more in another conversation. Thanks for hanging out. She cute, y'all. She feels herself.